Hey everyone, welcome to JP Reacts, where we look at Reddit posts and see what they're talking about in the way of religion and politics. So today is a post from r/PoliticalDiscussion. It's talking about should a nation own industries. Let's check it out. So the main title of the post is Should a Nation Own Its Vital and Strategic Sectors? Well, that's an interesting thought experiment for sure, and there's a lot of countries that come on both sides of that. Let's get into it after this. Okay, we're back. So basically, again, this is a comment that says, should a nation own its vital and strategic sectors? So there was more to this post. Let's read it and see what they have to say. For example, the health, energy, or water sectors are vital to guarantee a functioning society and to better organize central and global policies on it. For example, a national energy policy that could exist, it could be done much more effectively, or a national energy grid with a common or standard price, or a national health system with a standard policy and subsidized prices. Is it a question of national sovereignty and a common good, or is it more free capitalist economy that should liberalize all sectors of its economy to have more competition for better prices and services, or a mix of both? For all of it has its own disadvantages and advantages. So, should the nation nationalize some of its vital sectors? I think it should, and here's why. There are certain things that companies should not be able to make a profit over. And whether somebody gets sick or not is one of those things. If everybody gets sick, there's no way to avoid it. You're always going to need a doctor, hospital, whatever. Everybody's going to need it at some point in their life. So why should people make money off of other people's medical problems? Same thing goes with water. Everybody needs water to live, right? So why should people profit off of making water? Where was something with the energy? Energy is an interesting one because usually it comes in the fact of natural resources that the country itself owns. So that's where different countries have done different things. Some states nationalize their resources, like the Middle Eastern countries nationalize their oil resources. Venezuela nationalized their oil resources. Alaska, who's a very conservative Republican state, not nationalized it, but the state runs its natural resources. And the United States, we don't have that. So should we is the question. And I think that the natural resources of a country belong to all its citizens, not the small private companies that can make the most money off of it. Personally, that's how I view it. And if we're nationalizing resources that everybody in the country should own, since we're all citizens of the country, we could have a better strategic way to move through the system to find what's better. So, are there other things that we could say should be vital sectors? I think education should be a vital sector. Food could be a vital sector. It really depends on how you break down each thing and if it can be nationalized, or if it doesn't make sense to nationalize it based on how widespread something is, or if it's renewable. Can that be nationalized? If it's renewable, should it be nationalized? Natural resources that are in the ground probably aren't renewable, so those are the ones that should be nationalized, right? Food is regrown every year. That's renewable, so maybe that shouldn't be nationalized. There's a lot of questions, but these are conversations that we should have as countries and nations in the world to figure out what makes the most sense for us in our individual situations. So when we're saying who decides, we decide by picking who we vote for in elections. That's who decides. It's always ultimately us. So if this is something we want to happen, you need to vote for people that want that to happen as well. Let's check out a comment. It's a really short one. It says, who decides what qualifies as a basic need? Also, how do these things magically become immune from scarcity? So like I was saying earlier, who decides if it's a basic need? That's us as citizens of the country. So we decide if it's a basic need and needs to be nationalized, and we elect politicians that will nationalize those items. That's who decides. That's how it becomes decided. How does these things magically become immune from scarcity? I don't think there was ever an implication that that would remove them from scarcity. But the fact being that if it's more tightly controlled by the national governments that are elected from the totality of the citizens, they're in a better position to make sure that it is used wisely and it's benefiting the most people possible. But it was like oil and gas and coal and all those things are going to be scarce. Water could be scarce in the climate change future that we're in right now. Those things could be scarce. But the point is, if it's nationalized, a representative government can make sure that those resources are going to benefit the most people possible. But what do you think? Should nations nationalize vital resources or basic needs? If so, which ones? And if not, why not? Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you liked this video, you got something out of it. If you did, like it below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I say this every time, but what are you waiting for? It's now or never, right? So subscribe below. Until I see you around the internet, though, you have a great night. Bye.